Compact. Over to you, Simia.
Well, thank you so much, Esther, for your warm welcome. And hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here today to tell you about the UN Global Compact. If we can move to the next slide. So in this presentation, I will introduce you to the UN Global Compact initiative. So I'm going to talk to you about who we are and then what we do, how we support companies like yours along your sustainability journey. So as you see on the screen, the UN Global Compact is the United Nations Corporate Sustainability Initiative. It was at Davos back in the year 1999. The former UN Secretary General, Mr. Kofi Annan, he proposed to initiate a global compact of shared values and principles to give a human face to the global market. At the time, there were 40 company CEOs. They were really ambitious and passionate about corporate sustainability, and they signed up to create the UN Global Compact to promote responsible business. Next slide, please. To guide companies to conduct business in the most responsible manner, we actually went through lots of principles from UN declarations and conventions. We derived 10 principles from them, and they cover 4 core areas you see on the left side of the screen: on human rights, labor, the environment, and anti-corruption. So every company CEO from participating companies of the Global Compact, they commit to embed these 10 principles into their business strategy and operations. And these principles are a common ethical and practical framework to operationalize corporate responsibility. So you may see them as the fundamental values for every single company to follow to do business successfully. And then in addition, yes, thank you. As part of the UN Global Compact also has the mandate to deliver the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And these are a set of goals that articulate clearly what is the blueprint for a better future. I'm not sure how familiar you are. If you want to talk more about them, I'm happy to have a bilateral conversation with you to see how we can collaborate to bring them alive. But these 17 SDGs represent aspirational long-term targets for our business and other stakeholders to work together to create a better world. The UN Global Compact works with companies like yours in a valued and principled way with the principles of the Global Compact towards a set of ambitious targets like the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And that is the way we together can deliver the world that we all want in the future. All right, next slide, please. So the Global Compact is now the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative. We have more than 17,000 companies committed to the initiative, and they are coming from more than 160 countries. We can drive scale in a way that no other corporate sustainability initiative can, because we have a global footprint. We have 64 local networks with local and regional activities to help companies from around the world. Local networks are our local branches on the ground that provide localized and relevant resources to drive sustainable development in that particular country. We have a very active local network led by Esther in Singapore, and we have a big professional community in Singapore. So when you join the Global Compact, you are joining the global community, and at the same time, you are joining the local network to engage locally. All right, next. Before I dive deeper into how we can help companies like you, I want to quickly highlight some progress data and about the status of corporate sustainability. So you see on the slide here, CEOs are stepping up as advocates for sustainability across regions. This has increased over 10% from the past 10 years. And next slide, we also see more and more companies are taking action. They're working to progress the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This figure also increased about 10% in the past 5 years. Particularly in Asia, companies in Asia are actually even more ambitious about driving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And in Asia, there's a very strong focus on affordable and clean energy. All right, next slide. We also see significant progress made from the business community. Now with these, we have about 2,000 companies developed a science-based target that's aligned to the scenario to keep the global temperature increase within 1.5 degrees. That's very ambitious. We also see 83% of the global companies now have a gender equality target embedded into their overall sustainability plan. Also, through the UN Global Compact's gender programs, 90% of the companies within the Global Compact now are able to set a gender target at the senior management level. Also, through the UN Global Compact's SDG Innovation Program, 300 companies already launched innovation programs or projects to scale up their internal sustainability efforts. So these are great progress we have made. And next, still, there are many challenges remain. And of course, SDGs also bring alive a lot of opportunities. So you see here, about 96% of the company CEOs from Asia, they report that talent scarcity is a top challenge impacting their business. And I can also speak for myself, we're also facing talent scarcity even from our organization in Asia. So being a sustainable business, caring for people and the planet can effectively attract and retain talent. So that's a challenge and opportunity at the same time. Next, we also see company CEOs expressing concern that extending sustainability through supply chains and across subsidiaries remain to be a top barrier. Specifically during the pandemic, we see small and medium-sized companies, they faced challenges to integrate sustainability into practices. So we actually take this as an opportunity for us to strengthen our support and resources to help companies of all sizes. All right, next. CEOs in Asia also recognize inflation and price volatility to be a top challenge. So our findings also show that executing ESG effectively can actually help combat the price increase and the rise in operational costs, such as raw material costs and the cost of the true cost of water or carbon. So again, it's a challenge, but then ESG will be the opportunity at the same time. And next slide. Yes, thank you. So from an investment angle, aligning and reporting on progress towards sustainability goals also lowers the cost of capital, because nowadays investors are seeking companies that proactively anticipate and manage climate, labor, and human rights risks. Companies with higher or better environmental, social, and governance scores, they experience lower cost of capital compared to companies with poor scores. All right, thank you so much. And next, let's move to the next section. With these challenges and opportunities in mind, I want to introduce you to how the Global Compact can help you along your sustainability journey. So as you see on the slide, this is our strategy to help companies. We work along with the network in Singapore to help companies to achieve sustainable value by delivering measurable impact to the world's most pressing challenges. By most pressing challenges, next slide, please. We have identified 7 focus areas you see on the screen where the business community can have a strong impact. And now we are designing a portfolio of initiatives, of activities to help companies address these 7 challenges in particular. So if you haven't joined the Global Compact, I invite you to become a participant and then work with us on these important challenges. And next slide. With the goals in mind, we are here to help companies to keep track of their measurable progress and publicly report on them. So you see the 3rd column, to make measurable progress. Every year, we ask companies to submit a communication on progress report through a digital platform. And this is an effective way to help you build trust and credibility through a public platform on your company's sustainability efforts. And then I want to spend more time to the middle pillar, how to scale ambitious action. So this is how exactly are we going to help companies like you. Let's move to the next slide. So again, with the 7 issue areas in mind, the UN Global Compact is here to help you to connect, to learn, and to lead through our portfolio of engagement opportunities delivered globally and locally. First off, we have events. They are delivered regionally and globally. Next slide. You will see a list of events that we are running this year at the global level. So every year we have about 30,000 people attend our events, and these events are provide unparalleled networking opportunities with industry leaders and peers. In addition to these global level events, we also organize the regional events for the Asia region, for the Oceania region, for the Southeast Asia region. Also at the local level, they're run by the local network. So these are great opportunity for you to get together, connect with peers, with experts, and connect with the UN system. And next, another great resource we offer is an online learning platform called the Academy. So if we can go to the next slide. The Academy is the online learning platform. It's available to all of the participating companies with unlimited access. So yourself, your team, and everyone from your company can benefit from this online learning platform. The courses are designed in various formats, covering all topics around corporate sustainability. And you see some terminologies on the screen here from the foundations. These are the fundamental, very quick sessions at the intro level, fundamental knowledge for someone to understand more about sustainability. And after completion, people get a certificate of completion, so they feel very accomplished. And we also have a deep dive sort of a course. In the deep dive session, we have an expert come in to talk about the conceptual level of the knowledge. And then we have practitioners from companies who are doing the real work, the practical work, the person to talk about the practical level experiences and insights on that particular topic. Afterwards, we always break people into different breakout rooms to have a direct dialogue with the experts, with the practitioner. So it's very hands-on, very practical. So that's another format of the Academy courses. You also see some of the upcoming topics from the Academy. So I really hope to see you in the future, and I invite you to join these exciting capacity building programs. So next slide. Great, thank you so much, Dalton. And this is the landing page of the Academy. Just want to give you this quick look. This is the digital learning platform. So it's available to you and your colleagues at any time from anywhere. And this platform also allows detailed tracking, both at the individual and at the organizational level. So it's a great capacity building and employee engagement tool. If you're interested to explore more, I'm happy to have a bilateral conversation with you to show you a quick demo as well to address any questions you have. All right, let's move to the next slide. I know my time is running out, so let me be quick. Besides the events, the capacity building academy, we also offer a lot of other resources to help you to connect, to learn, to lead. So we also offer peer learning groups. These are for companies to learn from each other, to share experiences, share insights, learnings on a particular topic. We also have accelerator programs. So when a company wants to dive deeper into a particular subject matter, we can help them to set goals and then work with the peers to set the plan straight. These accelerator programs are offered once a year on different topics with 6 months in duration, consists of workshops, learning modules, and expert-led discussions. So they're very practical, very hands-on. By the end of the program, this individual in the program will get fully equipped with the knowledge, the skills to bring back to the company to solve a problem. And then for companies who want to shape and lead the corporate sustainability agenda, we also offer policy advocacy and call to action campaigns, as well as small stakeholder working groups or multi-stakeholder working groups to shape the future thought leadership. So again, I invite you to join us and then explore all of the benefits that we offer to companies to scale their sustainability impact. All right, next, we're seeing that companies participating in the Global Compact are reporting to us saying that joining the Global Compact really helped them to advance their sustainability performances. Will also help them to report better on sustainability. And next slide. And it's also proven by data. We see UN Global Compact participants are actually outperforming their peers in many of the ESG ratings. So this is the data from Arabisk. Next slide. I'm getting close to the end of my presentation. I really want to take a time and thank you all to be here today. I want to thank for your interest first, and then I want to invite you all to join us if you haven't done so, because in order for us to scale the global collective impact, we need every single one of you to join this collective action. All right, next section, I want to quickly go over the joining process. It's actually fairly easy. It's a 3-step process. Step 1 is for you to please visit this website to review the application process. And step 2 is to prepare a letter of commitment signed by the highest level executive of your company to the UN Secretary General. We have templates prepared for you to draft the letter. Step 3 is to complete the online application form. We ask you some questions about the company and then ask you to attach the letter of commitment that was signed and scanned into this online application platform. And then that's it. My team will be reviewing your application. It takes about 7 to 14 business days for your application to be processed. All right, next slide. So we do collect an annual financial contribution from companies. It's based on the company's annual revenue in US dollars. All right, that is the end of my presentation, the UN Global Compact at the global level. Thank you all for your interest in participating in the Global Compact. We hope you will join us to deliver impact that really matters and unite for a more sustainable future for all. All right, thank you so much. And back to you, Esther.
Thanks so much, Simiao. We're going to just quickly flash up a Pigeonhole QR code. So you can type your questions in there, but maybe let me just make it a little bit interactive because I saw someone has posted a couple of questions on the Q&A box. Again, we're going to flash up the Pigeonhole, so please do enter your questions there instead. But just 2 questions that came in. One of it is, public platform on sustainability. So can the public, once they join the Global Compact, they have a public profile that's on our website. So can the public see what companies have submitted? And is it purely by self-declaration, or does the Global Compact do any due diligence to verify the information submitted? Simiao, could you help answer this one?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So we make everything public by saying it's a public platform. When companies submit the report to the Global Compact on this digital platform, after a certain period, we will make this information public. So we do not ask this information to be audited, but we ask the general public to also view your information. So it's self-declaration, but it's made public, so all of your stakeholders can keep track of your information. So we definitely trust companies in their goodwills to report honestly. And I think this is also a benefit. Oh, sorry, I just want to say, this really helps companies to build their transparency. And many companies, many investors actually use our platform to keep track of the companies they're interested in. So it's a great way for you to announce, to disclose your performances on the 10 principles of the Global Compact using the platform. It's also a way for you to learn from your peers because it's a public database. You can actually view all companies' data. You can download the data, play around with the data. We make it interactive as well. So you can also benchmark within your companies.
Thanks, Samuel. I'm just kind of moving on. I'm going to ask people to take the scan QR code, put in your questions. I'm going to go into just a few minutes talking about Global Compact Network Singapore. An important fact is that when you join the Global Compact, you join via the local network. So in this case, Network Singapore. And then I want to quickly move on to Gabriel, who can share a bit about his experience with the Global Compact. So we'll take kind of the rest of the questions towards the end. So do have that QR code ready so you can type it in. Okay. So if I could just get the slide up, please. And for me, sorry, just a quick moment. So GCNS is the local chapter of the United Nations Global Compact. We are the largest network in ASEAN and one of the bigger ones in the region. We serve as a leading platform for corporate sustainability. We help to convene, bring together different stakeholders, not only the private sector, but also government, academia, as well as other NGOs. We also provide lots of capability and capacity building courses, right? In addition to what Samuel has mentioned around the accelerators, peer learning groups. So these, I saw a question earlier, are these for free? Indeed, as a participant, these are all available free of cost to member companies, but we also run several dedicated workshop and certification programs here in Singapore. And finally, we support the Singapore Green Agenda in addition to the UN SDGs. So we really work closely with government agencies, regulators to help, demystify sustainability, provide support schemes, and help us collectively move towards a greener and more sustainable Singapore. So moving ahead on the slides, please. So moving ahead, yeah. So I just want to highlight, so you're back one slide, please. A couple of key events that's coming up. And I think the reason why I'm highlighting these because GCNS is quite known for some of these key platforms and initiatives that bring the community together to talk about topical issues around sustainability. So please do save the date for our annual summit. This is one of the premier platforms where we look at advocacy capacity building and networking for sustainability. Yeah, so the days we're looking at is November 2nd and 3rd, and this will be held in person. And this year, we're going to really focus on how do we raise the bar on sustainability, take action, because we know the urgency and what needs to be done. I think many of us are struggling with how do we do it? Yeah, so at GCNS, we get a lot of questions, inquiries that talks about, we know why sustainability is important, but where can I take those small steps, right? Eventually bigger leaps, right, into making more concrete action for sustainability. Okay, next. We also just we will be opening the Apex Award. Again, some of you might know this. This is quite a long-standing award that focuses on two categories. One is looking at sustainable business. So we evaluate your business holistically, right, across environment, labor, anti-corruption, and the human rights. And the other aspects, we focus on the sustainable solution. How is it making the impact? Is it scalable? And what solutions are you providing, right, to help move the ecosystem? Again, the journey itself is very valuable, right? You go through assessment process that also help you see, right, how you're measuring along the 10 principles. And the awards finishes off towards the end of the year with a ceremony, right, where it's another great opportunity to connect with others in the ecosystem, being recognized very visibly about what you have done, right? It's also capability building. So even we have many people, while they may not have participated in the awards themselves, they join to this gala dinner because it's a chance to just network with others and see also what are potential solutions, partners that they can bring on board in their own sustainability journey. Okay, next slide, please. So I briefly touched on, we have quite a bit of tools and resources made available to our members, one of which the RISE tool, as we call it, right, essentially is a bench, it's assessment tool, how your annual health assessment. If you don't know where you are, how do you know where you can make improvements and progress? So this is a tool like that, right, where it measures your ESG, right? And it's benchmarked against the universal standards. So you have a gauge of how you are doing and where you can make some progress. Now, another tool we recently, I guess not so recently, in the last 2.5 years have developed, it's a carbon emissions recording tool. So as the name suggests, it's really to help us measure, monitor the emissions, right? So again, you know kind of how you can make some efforts to reduce that, right? And this CERT tool is also used as part of a national program, Low Carbon SG. So any companies that sign on to the Low Carbon SG will use this carbon emission. Okay, next. We run a number of certification programs with local universities. The first one is with SMU Academy. It's a 12-day, 6-module program that provides a very topical information around sustainability. So it covers a broad range of topics from sustainable finance to circular economy. So you may visit the website to learn more about what's being covered under here. Now, as of last year, we also launched a program with NTU Business School, and this one's taking a deeper dive in sustainable finance. Okay, again, the QR code is here, so feel free to just kind of scan, and we will be sending through these slides a little bit later following the webinar, so you can check it out. Okay, next, please. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we also collaborate with government agencies to roll out a number of capability building and schemes that can help companies kickstart their journey. One of that is this program, the Foundations in Corporate Sustainability. It's only 2.5-day course that provides some key fundamentals to help companies get started. What's also a bonus here is that it's 70% subsidized for companies. Companies can send up to 3 participants for this class. Okay, so you can check out the information here. You will also receive a certification of completion afterwards. And upon completion, you also get plugged into more of a GCNS resources, tools, and also the larger network. And we recently launched, actually just last week, another program that again is supported by the Enterprise Sustainability Program. This one is focused on carbon accounting and greenhouse gas management. This one will be 2 days and takes a very deep dive around how you can go about to monitor, measure, and then finding solutions to lower your carbon emissions. We know that Singapore has increased or has elevated our carbon goals to be net zero by 2050. So we're all collectively working towards it. This is a very good program to help you get started and on how you can move further ahead. Okay, next. Okay, I briefly mentioned earlier about the low carbon program. Sorry, previous slide. So this one, as I mentioned, it's a nationally recognized program that recognizes companies that have made great strides in lowering their carbon emissions. The foundation of this program is the CERT tool, right? And also part of this program will enable you to go through some capability workshops and training so that you can make progress on your emissions reduction. Okay. And finally, just sharing some additional resources that is available on the GCNS website. We have published last year a Singapore business carbon reporting tool. This is taking data from companies that have used the CERT tool. We collate that and we give some industry insights as well as tips on how companies can move towards lowering their carbon. Very soon, in a month or so, we'll be publishing the next edition. There's also a decarbonization playbook that we work in collaboration with NEA that provides some very concrete steps one can take to get started on the decarbonization journey. So in terms of carbon initiatives, we've upskilled over 600 people. We have more than 400 companies have gone through our workshops, and certainly more will be coming as they, as we continue to press on these decarbonization initiatives. Okay, so now I think I come to my the QR code. So any questions, please scan and put it into the Pigeonhole. I will now be making a quick introduction of one of our very dear members, GUAVA. And representing GUAVA is their founder and CEO, Gabriel Tan. GUAVA Amenities actually provide guest amenities, healthcare supplies, and F&B consumables designed to minimize waste and carbon emissions. GUAVA has been a Global Compact member since 2021, and Gabriel himself has been named the 2020 SDG Pioneer for Circular Economy by the United Nations Global Compact. GUAVA has achieved many sustainability highlights over the last several years, so I've been following Gabriel's journey very closely, and most recently, he shared with me the great news that they have set science-based targets, got it verified and approved. This is not an easy feat, right? For any companies, let alone, a small, medium enterprise. They're the first guest amenity company to achieve this milestone. So this really further solidifies their commitment, right, to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions by 42% by 2030. So really delighted to have Gabriel. So over to you, Gabriel, to share with us a bit more about your company and also your journey with the Global Compact.
Yeah, thank you so much, Esther. It's really a pleasure to be here, not just, because we work very closely with Esther at the GCNS, but likewise, we also work very closely with Simiao and the team from the UNGC. So it's a special privilege to be here today. So I think building on some of the points that Simiao and Esther has actually shared earlier, I think every businesses today need to understand that to have a sustainable business moving forward, it is not sufficient to just look at things that like product or pricing. You need to have a lot more parts to your business to make it feasible and financially self-sustaining for the future. And in order for business to be able to sustain into the long term, I think as what Simiao has shared, there are so many concerns, there are so many challenges. The world is changing so fast. And therefore, when I look at this picture about jewel, right? I think this really reminds me of that reality that to survive in today's business, there are so many things that a company need to look after. There are so many parts to the whole thing. That includes, your stakeholders management. How do you actually look at partnerships? How do you integrate sustainability into your business? And I think all these small parts put together makes for a sustainable business. And when the business is sustainable, then you can see that the business will flourish. So that's, something that, when I look at this picture, that's something that, that reminds me of. Next slide, please. So just now, Esther has mentioned to me that I've been recognized as the SDG Pioneer in 2022. And there's a lot of ways whereby we as a member of the Global Compact has actually evolved from our very first involvement in 2021. But what I would like to let you know is that when you start being a member of the UN Global Compact, and in the Singapore context, GCNS, it gives you a very practical and sensible way to get started into your sustainability journey. And then into the long term, as you get more involved into the network and then participate and become more accustomed to the programs and learning journeys, then you can actually develop your company's capability and to progress further in terms of what you can achieve as an organization. Next slide, please. So just now, Esther has already introduced me. Then we can skip this slide. So just a summary about our company. So the company was set up in 2004. And then we actually work with a lot of partners around the world. That includes manufacturer distribution partners, product development, as well as consumer brands. And then given the fact that our clients are the global hotel chains and airlines and cruise liners, whereby they actually touch millions of people around the world, that was the starting point where we felt that we need to also contribute towards the betterment of communities and the environment. And beyond just looking at providing clients with products, we are also looking very closely at our social impact. So to date, through the partnership that we have with our social partners, we have produced more than 1 million pieces of products. So being part of the Global Compact actually enable us to improve our ability as an organization to develop our sustainability capabilities, to be able to be more effective in scaling our impact. Next slide, please. So I will share with you based on the framework that has been shared earlier. So there is the connect, learn, lead, and communicate. And when you join the Global Compact, they have so many programs at different levels. That is, regardless of how advanced is your company in your sustainability journey, you can always start and look at maybe 1 or 2 areas before you move forward to do something else. Yeah, next slide, please. So if you look at the section called Connect, right? So when we first started being a GCNS member, it was started very simply by joining the networking sessions. I remember that was in 2021 when COVID was still quite rampant, and then right after the relaxation of the restrictions, I remember attending a networking session for new members where I get to see Esther, as well as some of the team members, to actually discuss about what is the motivation for companies to actually join the Global Compact. And then throughout the years, beyond just networking sessions, they also have events like the summit, which we have been privileged to be part of. So most recently, last year, for the Global Compact Summit, I was also invited to speak at one of the panels discussion. So that actually gives company a good platform to actually connect with other companies in the industry. And beyond just connecting with them, I think it's also to understand whether or not you can perhaps understand a bit more about certain things that could have been done in other industry verticals that could be relevant to you. And to also understand whether or not there could be some potential partnerships that you can actually explore with other companies. Yeah, next slide, please. And then if you look at Learn, so when we first joined the Global Compact in 2021, we actually joined the carbon workshop. I remember that was also about 2-3 months after we joined, we actually joined that program. And then over the years, we have been also benefiting from a number of courses and workshops that has been conducted. So I think just now Esther shared about the Foundation in Corporate Sustainability. That is a really good learning for not just for the team members, but also for the company's leadership, because the course is also one of the qualifying courses for directors under the SGX requirement. And most recently, last year, we joined the Climate Ambition Accelerator. It's a program that was run by the UN Global Compact. And after joining this program, that has actually given our team the confidence to look at the science-based target initiative. So we managed to actually achieve our science-based target verification, I think about 3 to 4 months after we completed the course. Yeah, I think that is something that really brought our team together, because it's not just looking at this in terms of because when you look at this Climate Ambition Accelerator, there's a lot of technical parts to it. So what I did was actually I get team members from our finance team to actually look at the requirements. And then I think together with a few other colleagues in the, it's a cross-function kind of collaboration for our team. And then we have been able to actually achieve this verification by a science-based target initiative. Yeah. Next slide, please. And then if you look at LEAD, so in Singapore, there is the Apex Corporate Sustainability Awards, which we were awarded the winner for Sustainable Solution in 2021. And then beside the recognition in Singapore, there is also recognition from the UN Global Compact, such as the SDG Pioneer Program that has been running since 2016, I think. And that's where companies actually gets to actually not just when you look at participating, I think beyond just winning, but I think it's also being part of the process to understand how you can actually improve your sustainability capability. You can get to learn from the requirements that they have to understand a bit more about where you stand in terms of your sustainability journey. What else can you do? And to also get some kind of assessment of where you are in your journey. Yeah, next slide, please. And then beyond that, there is also a lot of platform to actually communicate your sustainability practices, to actually share what you do as a company. And again, to me, I find this as something that is very, very practical and very useful. Why? Because I think in today's world, we realize that it is not enough for a company to be able to survive on your own. In order for you to be able to survive as a business moving forward, you need to also be able to collaborate and work with partners that will actually complement what you do. And in order to do that, there is no better way than a platform where you can communicate who you are as a company, because by doing so, what we realize is that that helps in many ways. By communicating, we actually get to attract talents. So we have people that actually come to us, even without us having openings, to say that, you know, I see what you do, it's so interesting. I think, is there something that we can do for you together? We also have experience where not just clients, but also complementary partners coming to us and say that, I understand a bit about what you do, and I think there's something that we can do together. So by communicating who you are as a company and what you can do, what you can contribute, what you like to have and what you want to achieve, you will be able to attract not just clients, but also talents, also partners, as well as to see how you can actually work with others in terms of advancing sustainability, and not just for the sake of environment and all this, but I think at the end of the day, it's about how can you as a company survive the fast changing world today and become a sustainable business, not just for now, but into the future. Next slide, please. So I would encourage all the participants for this open house to seriously consider being part of the network, because Esther and the team actually have a lot of programs that you can be part of in Singapore, and as well as if you have an idea of ambition to actually become part of the global program, I think Simia will be more than happy to share with you guys in terms of some of the initiatives and the programs available. And definitely, regardless of where you are in your sustainability journey, you can always start somewhere. You can always start small. You don't need to join all the programs, but I think you can see which are the programs that are relevant to you as a company, as which member of your team you think will benefit. Then you can always start somewhere. And then along the way, as you gain more and more understanding about what the membership entails you, then you will be able to see what else you can do together. And I think that also builds a very good framework for the company to create some kind of structure in terms of your sustainability journey, because by having all these already prepared for you, in very digestible forms and ways, it's very easy, very practical, very sensible way to get started. Yeah, so I encourage every one of you to seriously consider to be a member. Thank you. Back to you, Esther.
Thanks so much, Gabriel, for that good sharing. So I'm looking at the Pigeonhole, and some questions have come in, and also Simiao may have also put in some links, but I'm going to field a few questions, maybe one for each of us. The first, I start off with Simiao. A question came in on how are companies assessed when they submit their application?
Yeah. This is a great question. So I actually posted a link to the joining policy under the chat. I'm going to drop the link in the chat in Zoom again as well. So everyone can check it out. So we actually have an exclusionary criteria. Companies in certain industry cannot join the UN Global Compact. For example, if you are from a company that derive revenue from production of tobacco, or you're from a company that generates revenue directly from producing interpersonal landmines or cluster bombs, these companies are not eligible to join the UN Global Compact. So we have some exclusionary criteria. And then if you don't meet any of these criteria, we actually will go through a very short due diligence process on your company, and to make sure you don't have any systematic allegation to abuse the 10 principles of the Global Compact. If so, we're going to have a dialogue, a conversation with you to understand more about the situation and to find a way to work together to improve. Again, we are not a platform to watch you. We're not a watchdog. Rather, we are a guide dog to help you grow, to help you improve your practices and to thrive together as a community. So please check out the joining policy to understand more about the process. But overall, this joining process takes about 7 to 14 business days for our team to complete your application.
And let me just maybe stress that, like, the UN Global Compact is very unique, that it is very inclusive. It is sector industry agnostic, and it really welcomes company across different sizes, right? That's why you have globally 17,000 companies that's part of a global compact, right? Because everyone, coming from different industry other than the exclusionary ones, which is not unique to many of these NGO platforms, right, feel that they can take part. Again, we're not a watchdog. What we are here for is to help company communicate, set goals, communicate, and kind of make concrete actions for sustainable development. And that's why in our previous presentation by Simiao, me, and even Gabriel, I think there's a lot of emphasis on how we can support you along your journey. So this leads me to answer a question about how can you share more about the peer learning groups? A great question. So peer learning groups are meant to be small, I would say up to 20 to 25 companies, guided, facilitated groups on specific topics. And the topics are either on human and labor rights, SME engagement. So this one's dedicated towards the SME journey, climate action, as well as gender. So these are the 4 peer learning groups that's running globally and locally, meaning that the program is curated at the global level, but the local networks will further tweak, adapt to make sure that the content and the discussion for the participating companies are relevant for the local context. And these are the same group of companies, once they sign up, that will be guided through these kind of 1 to 1.5 hour sessions, not too many, about 4 or 5 across the year, right, to discuss key topics under these themes that I mentioned. And it's an opportunity to share openly, to exchange views, and also seek support in this regard. In Singapore, we will be launching 2 peer learning groups this year. One will be on the SME engagement. The other is on labor and human rights. There's also a question around accelerators. Now the accelerator is I would say a more intense and more involved program that lasts about 6 months. And they are guided as well by both local networks as well as external facilitators. And they generally have very concrete outcomes, right, that's expected from participants. So for example, Gabriel and GUAVA has participated in the Climate Action Accelerator. So over the course of the 6 months, he was engaging with the consultants, the facilitators, and the local networks on how to create a plan to set science-based targets. And at the end of this, as I mentioned before, it got them on the journey on science-based targets, and they now have their science-based targets set and also verified, right? And in the case of accelerators, we have run this regionally. So you would be also connected with companies in the region in ASEAN. So a rich experience for you to exchange and hear what others are doing. Okay, this question, rather than I think Samir or I answered it, I'm going to throw it out to Gabriel. Someone asked, can membership help me grow my business? Yeah, are there products, customers, or financial support connected to the Global Compact platform? So over to you, Gabriel.
Thanks, Esther. So maybe just to recap some of the points that were shared earlier. Joining the Global Compact is providing you with sets of framework and guidelines to develop your capability in your sustainability journey. So if you are thinking in terms of, oh, can I, by joining the Global Compact, can that actually increase my business? I don't think it's so straightforward. Because first and foremost, you need to look at how can the membership enable your team, your company to grow as a business in the area of sustainability. And that includes perhaps joining the networking session, joining the peer learning groups, joining some of the workshops to actually understand what sustainability actually means. And in your sector and in your area of business, what can you do for you to develop your capabilities to be better? And then subsequently, as you progress and you develop and you become better in what you do, you get the opportunity to be part of the networking, to be connected with other companies that are also looking at sustainability very closely. That's where you get to see whether or not there could be a possibility for you to forge some kind of partnerships. And beyond that, there will also be a lot of forums like the summit, whereby you get to communicate what you do as a company. And that's where you get perhaps either talents or potential customers or potential business partner reaching out to you and say, hey, I heard what you do and I thought it's so interesting. Perhaps, is there a way that we can discuss and maybe we can do something together? So I think the process is a bit more as that, instead of, joining and then you sort of, build your business, instantly. So it doesn't happen like that, but I would strongly encourage, considering GCNS, because when you are being part of the network, you get connected to other companies that are also looking at sustainability. So in a sense, that is also a selection process of itself. Because you do not want to be connected with companies that may not be sharing the same values as what you are looking at. Because then there's no way that you can get to work out anything, be it in terms of customers, be it in terms of partners. If the vision from the very beginning is very different, and there's no way that you can work together. But I think being part of the network and having that commonality, right, in terms of what you value and what you appreciate, and then how you want to view sustainability as something important for your business, I think that is a good starting point. Yeah, thanks. Back to you, Esther.
Thanks so much, Gabriel. And I think let me just kind of add a bit to that as well. Gabriel's presentation talked about also, being able to use sustainability as talent attraction and retention. We certainly hear that, right, from companies. I think increasingly young people, young professionals looking to join the workforce, they're looking for companies that have strong values, and that value isn't just making profit at all costs, as well as the planet. I think, a platform like GCNS, we do not, we're not a funding platform, but we provide a lot of resources, guidance, and partnership, right, that can help
I'm not sure if it's my side or it's Esther who is freezing. Oh, maybe it's me.
I think we just lost her. Oh.
While we are waiting for Esther, I think, I think
Hi.
she's back.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can everyone hear me? You know, we've done
Yes,
this
yes,
so many
yes.
times, but yeah, at the same time, sometimes tech will still, you know, give us a bit of trouble. So apologies for that. I hope you can all hear me. I guess we're also coming up to the hour, so I won't keep everybody. But I guess in short, just to kind of sound off why sustainability is I think is important. I think ultimately it's about also our license to operate, quite frankly, at this stage, right? I think you cannot open a newspaper or hear the news without hearing something about sustainability. And it's not just about the environment. I saw a question come through. It's all about the social. It's also about the governance. So it's really taking that holistic approach, right, to corporate sustainability. That's what Global Compact stands for. So when we go through our resources, tools, and even training, we ensure that we take that holistic, comprehensive approach, E, S, and G, to your decision making. Okay, so I think I will wrap up here. I think the question I will leave with the group is, you know, what is the cost of inaction? Yeah, we can continue on as is, but I think we all know the world is moving in a very fast and unpredictable pace. But what is true, and the science tells us that, right, is that we're warming up, and we need to reduce that warming because it's impacting our existence, right? It's impacting our business, and the cost of doing nothing is too grave. So I encourage you to really get connected with us, find out more about the Global Compact. Your companies, if you're a part of the larger global companies, may already be a member, in which case you can join Global Compact as a subsidiary member, right? And for SMEs, membership is, I think it wasn't listed earlier, is only, it is 500 per year. And again, you get free access to all the academy, all the tools and resources, and also get to participate in some of these smaller deep dive discussion groups like the peer learning as well as the accelerators. Okay, so I will give you back the rest of your day. Thank you so much to all of you who tuned in and stayed on. I look forward to connecting with you very soon. Thank you, Simeo and Gabriel.
Yeah, thanks, Esther. Thanks, Simeo.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.